Hey, you guys, it is Saturday, May 9th. I have had a couple of people contact me saying they aren't sure what to do for their front page to tell the story of Mr. Popper's penguins. So, if you would look at your packet that I gave you in the writing section, there are 3 writing assignments. The second one says, write a newspaper article reporting the facts about Mr. Popper and his penguins. Your article will appear on the front page because it is a very important story. Now, of course, there is a whole book about Mr. Popper and his penguins. You choose what you, as a reporter, would like to share about Mr. Popper. Okay, I gave you a sample copy of a front page of the New York Times. That is also in your packets. On that sample, there are all the parts of a newspaper kind of highlighted so that you can see what is what. It is your job to look at what I'm asking for that's listed down here below and check it against the New York Times front page so that you know what I'm talking about. I am not going to walk that all through for you. You are perfectly capable of looking at this list and figuring out from the front page of the New York Times what I'm asking for. Okay, here's a list of the things that have to be included. You can include other things as well, but these things have to be in there in order to get the complete grade. Okay, now I have made my own little goofy front page thing here, and we will be zigzagging back and forth. I did not do a Mr. Popper's one because I don't want you taking my ideas. I want you to have original ideas, okay? You are not copying the information that's on the New York Times. You are coming up with your own original things. All right. You need a nameplate. The nameplate is the name of your newspaper. Do not use the New York Times. Do not use the Beckman Blotter. You think up your own name. If you were in charge of a newspaper, what would you call it? I called mine the Beckman Blotter. Okay? The next thing you have to have is an ear or a slogan for your paper. Let's see, that goes in the upper left corner. My slogan was your window on the world. I believe the slogan or the ear for the New York Times is all the news that's fit to print. So you come up with your own quickie little slogan, just a few words, for the ear of your newspaper. The next thing you need to include is the weather ear. So that's on the other side. You're giving just that day's weather. Weather. So you can make it up. I put cloudy, snow showers, 32, which unfortunately is pretty accurate for today. All right. After the weather ear, we have the folio. Now, if you look at my example, the folio, the folio is this little skinny section. Here we go, right in here. Okay, this is the folio. It's this little area. It comes beneath the headline or beneath the name of the newspaper. Okay, the folio, inside the folio, you have the volume of the newspaper, just make up a Roman numeral. You have the number of the issue, make up a number. You have the date, put down today's date, and the price. So you pick whatever price you think you want for your newspaper to go to. I said 50 cents. I think the plain dealer is now like $1.25 for one single day's newspaper, which is kind of high. Okay, so after the folio, you have the headline. Okay, you are required to have 2 stories. One of them is the main story. My main story, the headline is Hounds Howls Haunt Homeowners. Okay, that's my headline. That's the major story that I'm coming up with. Your major story has to be about Mr. Popper's penguins. Okay, after the headline, you have the byline. Wait a second. Byline is person who wrote it. I put Katie McHugh. She was my best friend growing up, so Katie McHugh wrote this article. let's see, byline. The dateline, I don't know why they call it dateline because it has nothing to do with the date. The dateline is where the story takes place. So the dateline goes right before the article, the newspaper story. Okay, so you've got headline, byline, dateline is right there. All right. Now, after dateline, you write the article. And in your article, you have to include who, what, where, when, why, and how. Those are the key pieces to any good piece of news reporting. So I have a story here about a strange howling. Whoops, that went on in the middle of the night. I don't know why this is not. Here we go. Mouse pointer. Does this work? Okay. So here's my story. All right. It was all down, eerie cry, blah, blah. It was terrifying. Sobbed 8-year-old Tahir Farkouh, thought it was a ghost. Parma investigated. It was just Chuck. Okay. So there's your story. That's your article. You have to include a picture for your main story. So I have a picture here, and below the picture is what's called the caption. That's one of the things noted here. Oh, and the credit line. What was the name of the photographer who took the picture? So I have Aaron Beckman took the picture. We have the caption beneath the picture. So the caption is what describes the picture. And so that just gives, that doesn't necessarily have to talk about the story. It does talk about the picture. Chuck Beckman poses with friends Pam and Smog and says he's ready to forgive Mrs. B after being left outside. True story. Okay, that is your main article, your main story. It's going to be about Miss Proper Penguins. It has to include all these things. Then you have to have at least one other article. It can also be related to Mr. Popper. It does not have to be. Okay. My second article over here is also has to have a headline. Luther Memorial students do all homework during coronavirus outbreak. Teachers thrilled. Okay. The author of the article is Susie Walker. Girls, you remember that name from health class, I'm sure. Here's our dateline, Cleveland, Ohio. There comes my article. Luther Memorial middle school students dazzled their teachers and parents, blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on and on. Parents demanding schools open up quickly. And then there is a picture at the bottom. There's the credit for who took the picture, Jim McDonald, that's our next door neighbor. And then here's the caption, sixth grader Jadian Rodriguez shows off his A+ homework. All right, this is what you need for your newspaper front page. Please do not give me one piece of paper that has a corner here and a corner there and a couple lame sentences over here and over there. A few of you are getting your notice that you have to redo the front page of your newspaper because you didn't follow directions or it's not middle school quality work. Okay, so I'm not going to name names, but you'll be hearing from me shortly. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'd be happy to talk it over with you either in a Zoom or a classroom meet or something like that. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put a barcode. Ah, oops. At the bottom of the newspaper, in the bottom corner, there's usually somewhere on the front page, and it's usually the bottom right or left hand corner, there's the barcode. Oh, shame on me. You know, like the little UPC code. So I would get points deducted because I didn't follow my own directions. Okay, where I put at the bottom, it should be filled edge to edge. You don't see newspapers that have giant white gaps in them. Okay, that's what I've been getting from some of you. You have to kind of lay it out. As you can see, I made a mistake because I ran out of room. If I had laid it out beforehand, like done a quick rough draft, I would have remembered and had room to put that barcode in, but I didn't. So learn from my heinous mistake. This here is an example of what I do not want to see. None of this nonsense, just a couple sentences, big white spaces, and half the page a picture. No, that doesn't fly. Okay. Neither do penguins. Okay, if you guys have any questions, just call me back. I think you're nice. Stay warm and do something very kind for your mother tomorrow for Mother's Day. She deserves it. Okay? Love you. Talk to you later. Bye bye.